Hello everybody. I'll be going over everything in the new update, and it's pretty jam-packed. I think you guys really like what I have to offer in this one. It's basically just a lot of smaller things that make the mod a bit. It's just like a update to make it all look more professional, pretty much. And I think it comes across pretty nice. And there's a couple added stuff that are pretty good. So first off on our list is NPCs. Now for NPCs, you're gonna have two of them. One of them is the Anbu teacher, who I'll go over in a little bit. But we also have this guy right here. This is the Shinobi trader. He acts kind of like a wandering trader and has the same spawn rate as a witch. He can spawn anywhere, and when you talk to him, you can buy Orochimaru scrolls, which is how you get all your stuff. Jinchuriki summoning scrolls, which is how where you get the Jinchuriki. I'll go over that in a second. And a random Shinobi item. This can include kunais, Geru statues, all sorts of random stuff. The Zero Tails DNA, whatever. Each of these cost yen, as you can see. Yen is going to be up here. There will be a yen icon up there at some point. It's not there yet though. But that's how you're gonna use yen. It's actually gonna have value in this case, rather than just having to give like gold and stuff. Now you have to actually pay for it with yen, which of course you get from leveling up, and also you'll be able to get that from taking bounties from people. Next, we got your Jinchuriki system. Now the way this works is you'll buy a Jinchuriki. You'll buy one of these off the trader guy, and then you can summon him in. Now, unlike the last bosses from the last game, these are way more powerful. Now, of course, there's only one boss in this game, and there's only 3 NPCs: Trader, Anbu Teacher, and Jinchuriki right now. But they all are, pretty decent. They serve their purpose a lot better than they did in the last mod. The Jinchuriki is just a really powerful guy. Wouldn't want to mess with him. But once you do mess with him, you will get a drop, which is the Tail Beast scroll, and when you use this, you can get Tail Beast 1 to 9. Now, before I even continue, I feel like there's something I kind of have to go over. Oh, I left that door open. Okay. There's something I have to go over, and that's the fact that you just saw Kenjutsu there, and also the fact that it's a lot nicer. Honestly, it's just so much nicer. For every single item, there's now a description, and it requires a certain amount of ninjutsu and points now, and you can kind of see that a lot better. So that's there now. And then each of the moves have their own point system. So we have 15 ninjutsu and we have some like points. So now you can see it takes the chakra amount. So you get, that took a very long time, but now everything's in. So every single move in the game has that. A lot of stuff has that, even things like, these and all that. Now, as for Kenjutsu and all that, there's a whole new system here, so our data sheet's a lot different. We have our ninjutsu, and this is going to be used for jutsu and stuff. You're going to have a certain amount of this to unlock certain jutsu. But also each time you increase this, you increase your max amount of chakra by 5. Medical, this one doesn't have any health bonus yet. It's obviously going to in the final release, but for right now, all it does is it's used for to do certain stuff like implanting eyes, Jinchuriki, all that. Senjutsu doesn't have a use right now, but it will very soon. And Kenjutsu, oh, by the way, Senjutsu increases your Senjutsu level by 5 instead of 1 like last time. And then Kenjutsu, this is going to be forbidden jutsu and things like that. So tailed beasts, all that kind of stuff. EXP and leveling and points are all the same. You get the clan up here, bounty, and then now there's a new ranking system. I'll go over that in a little bit because that's a bit more complex. Also, I've heard you guys request a lot about not being able to actually see your information, and so now there's little information things right here, which I don't know, not that crazy, pretty default. I forgot to add them. I didn't forget, it was on the list, it was just kind of far down, but that's on the list now, and as you can see, it's taking points and adding there, so a bit nicer. Let's see, what else do we got? So I was going over Jinchuriki, sorry. So once you get your Jinchuriki, once you kill it by summoning it and then killing it, you get the Jinchuriki scroll, which you can implant into yourself, or you can open it for 100 Kenjutsu. I don't know how much Kenjutsu I have on this account, I gotta upgrade that real quick. But basically, it'll give you a random scroll, 1 to 9. And of course, I am considering making custom bosses for each 1 to 9 thing rather than just fighting a default Jinchuriki. But that would take a large amount of time, and I'm not against spending that much time. I just want to get some other stuff out first before I do that. Anyways, get your tail beast scroll, open it up, get the 5 tails, and with 100 medical, which I believe we have way more than that, implant inside of ourselves, And of course, now we have the 5 tails Jinchuriki. Yeah. So also animations are much better than they were last time. I know last time I kind of, yeah, I mean animations are much better than they were before. Especially the ones I was talking about where it's like passive animations weren't working. That's not in the game and they're working fine. For example, like if you have the puppet body, this is now working fine. As you can see, when the puppet effect wears off in like 20 seconds, this will go away. So it's not like permanently glitched or whatever anymore. So I think that's kind of a given. So I fixed it last episode, but I just wanted to clarify animations are much better. Now this one's a bit weird because this one doesn't have much cool stuff, but like with Tenseigan where you're floating, or Genjutsus where you're slumped over, etc., etc. That's there. But as you can see, back to normal and back to being able to use animations again. Now, let's see, what else do we have to go over? So yeah, for Tail Beast, that's pretty much all. You bite off this guy, summon it, fight it, and then implant inside yourself. It has 500 hearts or 1,000 health, and does like a decent amount of damage. It's honestly a pretty good boss. Yeah, it also has the ability to shoot Tail Beast Bomb, which are basically just one shots right now, so I'm gonna fix that. But yeah, that's what that guy's got going on. Next, we got the Rinnegan. So for the Rinnegan, I'm just gonna type a command to, I think it's just called like get Rinnegan. Yeah, this will do it all for you. But basically, what you need to do to get the Rinnegan is you need to first get Mangekyo Sharingan, of course, and then once you have Mangekyo Sharingan, well, not before you have Mangekyo Sharingan. In general, there's a 1% chance from an Orochimaru scroll to get Hashirama's DNA. Yeah, so you get Hashirama's DNA implanted in you, you get the Mangekyo, and then when you kill stuff, you have a 0.33% chance to awaken the Rinnegan. Once you awaken the Rinnegan, you get the Rinnegan Skill Learner. Now, I don't know if I showed it off in the last episode. I'm pretty sure I did. I can't imagine I didn't, but with the new stuff, I use an MBT system, so you can go through it and level it up individually and stuff. Same way for this. But unlike the Mangekyo and the Rinnegan, the last mod, where you only get 2 abilities out of the amount that there is, which for both of them, I believe there's 10 moves, Mangekyo and Rinnegan. For the Rinnegan, you have the ability to get all of them, because honestly, it kind of makes a lot more sense. I mean, for Mangekyo, it makes sense that you only get 2 moves because you only have 2 eyes, and people with Mangekyo powers only get 2 moves. Rinnegan, I don't know why I was only giving you 2 moves when you kind of have access to everything. So now you have access to everything, and so it takes a certain amount of like points per. Which I will say, you're about to see a lot of overpowered stuff. I promise you it's balanced, but it takes a lot of points. So these are obviously the really good ones. These all. But we're going to go in order from worst to best, because obviously you get them worst from best. Things like Chibaku Tensei start costing around like 500 points or whatever, some really high amount of points. These ones over here, they're like 20, 25 for a while. So the Rinnegan does take a lot, but it's worth it. Now, you saw me activate my Rinnegan just then. There is something that you may be thinking, oh, well, if I want to use my Mangekyo powers too. Well, it's very, very possible. You just shift, press it, and now you turn on your Sharingan. And then you shift, press it again. Shift, press it now, and you're back on your Rinnegan. So you can just shift, press it to switch between Mangekyo and Rinnegan. And obviously, if you have like Byakugan or something, or Ketsurugan or Tenseigan or whatever, that stays in the given eye. You don't like lose it each time you change. I think that's kind of a given. But let's say you only have one Mangekyo, which you turn into the Rinnegan. You're just switching that back and forth, but you still have the Byakugan and stuff. So that's a non-problem. You can have more than just that. So by getting the Rinnegan, you already have the Mangekyo, so I feel like it's fair to be able to change back and forth between it. So by having the Rinnegan, you basically have 3 eyes, because you have Rinnegan, Mangekyo, and then you have a whole other eye select. But that's irrelevant. That's not cool. We're going over the rest of the stuff right now. We gotta get some. Actually, I forgot to make a button for this. Okay. Actually, where's the Jinchuriki at? He is he has a health bar right up there, so it's kind of easy to see. He went over here, I guess. He has like a decent amount of speed. I don't know where that guy's at. Right there, perfect. We'll send him back at you right now with this Shinrot Naruto one. So, a lot of lag for some reason there for a sec. But okay, yeah. So Shinrot Naruto is the pushing one, obviously. So wherever you're looking, you shoot your enemy there. And it's not like a complete shoot. It's just like partial. So you're not like you can't like shoot him all the way over there. You just give him like a little jump. And then this one's the pull move, Banshee Tenin. We just gotta get him. Yeah, there we go. And you just pull them towards you, whoever you're looking at. And this can this is an AoE, so it pushes every entity around you towards something. And this can pierce, so if there's like 3 people standing next to each other and you hit them all with this, it'll, you know, bring them all to you. Rinnegan teleportation. I mean, this one's kind of a given at this point. You just teleport. King of Hell. When you use this one, okay, that's that's set to Byakugan, not Rinnegan. I gotta fix that in the code. It isn't really that cool though, anyways, I'll be honest. Basically all it does is everyone around you gets healed to 20 health, which is the max amount of health. Limbo Genjutsu, this one's cool. Shoot that at someone and basically they are stunned and blinded and all that. It's only lasts for 100 ticks, which I believe is like 5 seconds, 4 seconds, something like that. Not that, oh yeah, 5 seconds, sorry. Not that great, but at the same time, it's I try to replicate the move that Sasuke does to Sakura in the ending part before him and Naruto have the giant battle, and I think like shooting a clone of yourself at someone like that, I don't know, I think it fits. Limbo clones, first you have to cast it obviously, and then these guys will just attack whatever you last attacked, or if you get attacked, they'll attack that too. They do a decent amount of damage. They're unkillable, and they go away after like 2,000 ticks or 200 ticks. So yeah, Chakra absorption is pretty cool, I'll be honest. So let's get rid of all this stuff, just start clearing out. And remember, you're getting all this stuff in order, and the higher you go up, the higher the point cost is. Now, there's certain stuff where it's not high point cost. For example, like the Limbo Genjutsu costs like less than the Limbo clones, even though like clones are above. It's just, I made it so you only get I think like the more advanced you get with your Sharingan, the more advanced moves you get. So obviously you didn't see like Nagato using like that kind of stuff, but anyways, Chakra absorption, super cool. Happy with the survival for this one. And then I lost the Jinchuriki. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna activate this. We put our hand out and take some damage. All the damage we take, he would hit us. He's not really in the mood to fight, I guess. But anyways, all the damage we take. Yeah, I need to nerf that actually a lot. Oh my god. Basically, all the damage we take while we have our hand out that's a fraction of how much damage a giant chakra ball that you shoot out will do. So I'll put my hand out for another second. This won't do any damage because we're not going to be taking any damage. As you can see, there's little particles on us to kind of show that we're charging up with our hand out and all that. And we just kind of shoot a giant chakra ball out, and it does equivalent damage to how much chakra you absorb. So I think it's kind of cool. Black chakra rods. These are so far up the list above a lot of other stuff that you might be thinking, why? Well, it's because they are... Now listen guys, before you get mad at me, they are slightly overpowered, but it's okay. I'll nerf it eventually, maybe. So, super high cooldown, 200 chakra, and you're like, why? It can't be worth that. And it's debatably not. It's very case specific. It's not that good against NPCs or like, entities like that. Against players though, it's one of the most broken things in the entire game. Because what it does is it takes some hand signs, of course, which are like hand signs, all this stuff. But trust me, guys, it's worth it. Because after all that process, when you hit someone with it, it deactivates their dojutsu and tail beast. Now, not permanently and not for a set amount of time. It simply just turns them off. May not seem that crazy, but remember that when it comes to this kind of stuff, if we have chakra absorption, if our Rinnegan's not on and we try to use the move, we need our dojutsu active. Yeah, we do, but it still puts the item on cooldown. So let's say you're fighting someone who has Rinnegan and you use like the black chakra rods on them. Well, all of a sudden they might use a move and put it on a super high cooldown. So I think you can see the value of this move. And then Tail Beast is the same thing. It's just it's pretty good. It's just pretty good. Now we get to the fun stuff. So before we get to Chibaku Tensei, which is arguably the coolest move in this entire mod, we're gonna do Tenseigan, which, remember, very high chakra cost, and it takes a lot of work to get to these moves. So before you guys say anything about it being overpowered, but yeah, let's use it. I looked over there instead of over there by accident because I forgot how to do hand signs for that one. Okay, let's redo that. The point is though, it's the move that Madara uses where he drops 2 meteors down. Huge AoE explosion. Also, these things are massive. These are fucking huge ass meteors. I mean, I can use it on myself in a second. You can see just how big they are. But, yeah, okay. So let's use it. You do some hand signs, and wherever we're looking, shoot 2 giant meteors. I mean, they took up like 2 of these arenas basically in terms of like width. So you can imagine if that's falling from the sky. I remember this is wherever you're looking, not on top of you, which means you can shoot it kind of wherever you can see. Pretty overpowered. Now for Chibaku Tensei, the most broken move in this entire game, but it's also very cool. We're gonna have to spawn a bunch of things to really show off how cool it is. So we're gonna have a bunch of guys in here, obviously, and then we're also gonna have some on the outside just to, do some range testing with you guys. That's enough. Now we're gonna use the move, so we just do the hand signs, and as you can see, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to justify this as being a fair move. Everything in a 30 block radius, if he basically starts floating and then gets shot up into that little thing up there, and then it pulls them all in for a second, and then after a little bit, does a lot of damage. I tried to make it fair because, I made it 500 Chakra, which has a crazy long cooldown, of course. So it doesn't insta-kill, by the way. I want to say Husks, those guys do not have the same amount of health as players. Actually, you could just summon a Jinchuriki real quick to test it out. 1 second. It does, I believe, either 14 or 16. Remember, you have 20 health, so it does a lot objectively. But it costs like a decent amount of points, like hundreds of points to get to that point. Plus also unlocking your Mangekyo, plus also unlocking like Hashirama DNA. Like the actual, like it takes a lot to get to this, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a lot of work and it's not easy by any means. Now let's see how much damage it does. I can show you guys, it's really not that much. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say it's not a lot, but if we use this again, this guy over here, you can see the health bar. It's not gonna drop too crazy much, I don't think. He has 500 health. Yeah, I mean, it barely even moved. Yeah, I don't know why that is actually. I don't know if that's good or not, but it's not the point. And I can show you guys some other moves that aren't so far. That absorption move, I don't even know how to justify that. That one's really overpowered for some reason. I think I called it not Shinrot Tensei. It's the meteor drop. I'll just relearn the skill learner. But the point is, not crazy overpowered. It doesn't one shot is kind of what I'm saying. It's plus once you can upgrade your health and medical and all that, it's really not going to be that crazy. Now let's test out Tenge. So I'll use it right here so you can see that just takes up the entire sky. And yeah, it still doesn't do that much damage. Wonder what's going on with this guy though. I mean, let's see what we can do with him. Let's activate our tail beast, and okay, so he does take damage. It's just the stuff we're doing doesn't really do that much damage. Now I think it probably will do more damage to players. I mean, you can imagine this guy has 20 health, or this guy has 500 health. We have 10 comparatively, so it's gonna do more obviously if we do some of these moves, but yeah, you get the point. Now move on from that. We still have so much to cover. The Rinnegan just one I spent a decent amount of time on. New item reworks, I already went over that. All the new items, of course, have the new descriptions, cost ninjutsu or kenjutsu. Something to note is that kenjutsu is also for the Uzumaki clan. This is because kenjutsu revolves around forbidden techniques, but also sealing jutsus, so I feel like it made sense considering this is like 90% sealing. A lot of stuff got changed, like some small stuff. Before I go over the rest of it, I just want to show you guys, like, for example, C3 now looks a lot nicer. I may not look like it looks a lot nicer, but the last one, like, died first and then did it, so it looks nicer. And just a bunch of random small stuff like that. And once again, just to prove it, you get the descriptions on everything, including this, so it's on everything. What else do we got? Stat changes, I went over that. Ninjutsu increases your chakra by 5, medical, senjutsu, kenjutsu, all that stuff. Something I don't think I actually put in here, which oh no, I did. Okay, sweet. $6,000 or 6,000 downloads gift. This just gives you some ace, like 32 bread, some kunais, and a note. Just to say thank you for 6,000. And the note goes over a lot of stuff. Starting from here, going down, it goes over leveling and getting points, charging your chakra, obtaining new chakra, getting tailed beasts, and that's kind of all. Look at this at the end. I don't want to spoil anything else. Have a good time, enjoy the mod. There's over 100 plus jutsus, have fun. But this just goes over some things that might be confusing, because things like, Sharingan stuff, it kind of explains itself once you use it. To advance the Sharingan, you must kill. You have the whole note telling you to kill. I mean, it's not kind of on the nose, but there are some stuff like tailed beasts are never really explained in the mod per se. So I want to put that there. This needs to be changed to our Shinobi guy, but it tells you how to get jutsu. It also tells you about how the storyline, which I'll go over in a second, gives moves. So you can also use that. It talks about your data sheet, all that. It's just a lot of information for you. And I will color code all that at some point to make it all, readable, friendly. Next we got quest lines. Quest lines are cool. I'm gonna be honest, I spent a lot less time on these quest lines than I did in the last mod, but they're significantly cooler. So you get your quest lines and they all have their own stuff. Once you complete like 6 or 7 quests on each, it moves on to the next one until you get to Jonin. The gifts are pretty small. They kind of go through the basics. So getting, you're literally like, getting wood, making a bed. Just basically, I think the quest lines kind of follow what you're doing normally, like where it should be around Minecraft. Chunin, you start exploring the Nether and stuff. Jonin, you're fighting the end. So you get it. It's pretty much just the quest lines match where you're at in vanilla Minecraft, pretty much. I tried my best to make it that way, and your rewards are pretty good. Like Jonin, or I think it's Chunin, you get an elemental. And then Jonin, you get another elemental, and also an Orochimaru scroll. You get a lot of points and just kunais and random stuff throughout the quest lines. Plus, it's not in the game yet, but what I'm going to do is for things like Sage Mode and Akatsuki and all that stuff, they'll have their own rewards, and you'll be able to pick after finishing the Jonin quest line. I'll make it so you can pick where you want to go. So Akatsuki, Jonin, Anbu, not Jonin, sorry, Sage Mode, Anbu, all that stuff, and they'll have their own special jutsu that you can only exclusively get from that quest line. Kind of makes some, differences in people, so it's not just everyone's the exact same, build, now there's Yamanaka, Inuzuka, and Kunai. So I'm gonna get these guys out. Also Kunai. I'll just show off the Kunai real quick. Kunais, you can craft them and also you can get them randomly from the trader, but basically throw your hand behind your back, throw something at someone, and it does some damage. Not that crazy, you can craft them and all that. That's it for that one. Don't really feel like I need to explain much more. Yamanaka only has 2 moves, but they're very good. So first one's Mind Transfer, so you do some jutsu, your hand seals, and you just do that. It may look like nothing really happened. If that was a player though, we both would have I would have made him slice himself. Same with what's it called, Katsura gun. Mind Transfer Clone. I'll be honest, it's basically the same thing, only it's an AoE. Realistically, Yamanaka doesn't have that much other than this. So just you can hurt people. AoE or hyper specific, kind of like a sniper move and a shotgun move. I don't know, it's really good, honestly. It's not bad by any means. Izunuka, I'm not proud of the dynamic marking, but Inuzuka really doesn't have much, so it feels kind of necessary. So first move, you pee on people, and then they're highlighted for a little while. Not my proudest, but there's I mean they're not letting us do that. Gatsuga, you basically just dash at someone like that, and then Piercing Fang over Fang, it's a short range projectile that explodes on impact or on entity and stuff. Okay, but you get it. Not that crazy good, but it's just more stuff to add to the mod. Do anything else? I think that's about it. I'll show off the Tenseigan real quick, just because I know I didn't get to show off why that was so cool in the last one. Let's see. So now that we have the Tenseigan, if we go into our mode, as you can see, we're hovering now. And also, as you can see, we have the you see the purple and the blue particles. That's because we have Rinnegan and Tenseigan. And as I explained before, you don't lose your thing. So if we go to Sharingan, now we have the Sharingan and the Tenseigan. We can do that again. We have the Rinnegan and the Tenseigan. So you still have your other eye slot, you're just changing back and forth. As for the actual moves, I think I showed them off last mod. They're not that crazy, because, I mean, you're able... you're able to use all the Byakugan moves with your Tenseigan, so I feel like between the amount Tenseigan and Byakugan moves is pretty fair. I'm gonna get 6 moves basically, and if we go over them real quick, you can see there's a lot here. You got True Seeking War Barrage, Body of Creation, Disruption Beam, Air Palm, 64 Trigrams, and Ultimate Defense. This is a really good set of moves. Now, of course, I'm trying to make it fair. I'm trying to make the other clans good too. Like Puppet also has a move like Izanagi. You know, Shadow has good stuns. Fuma has their stuff. Like, I'm trying to make everything balanced. So when you notice that certain, like Sharingan, when you have the Rinnegan, you can use all the Sharingan moves, all your Mangekyo moves, and all the Rinnegan moves. That's a lot of the most overpowered moves in the game that you can use. And I'm not trying to make it so it's like Uchiha bias. It's just kind of hard that you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from, where it's not really easy on this one to, you know, make everything fair. There is, of course, going to be balancing though. It's not like I'm like strictly trying to make things better, and all the stuff you see is, you know, only because it's early development and all that. But for the Sharingan, as you know, all the Mangekyo moves have the little 3-toner Sharingan, but for the normal Sharingan, I switched it up a little bit. So you get Crow Evasion first, because Crow Evasion is, I mean, not objectively worse. I don't think it's nearly as good as the Shackling Stakes. So I feel like it's kind of, you know, balanced, because this is only like a teleport move. Yeah, not that crazy. Shackling Stakes though puts them in a Genjutsu. Pretty strong one too. I mean, it doesn't do any damage, but it will last for a while. So that's there. And now you can see the actual amount of tomas from the moves you're using. So the Crow Evasion only takes 1 toma, which is like, you know, yeah, kind of a given. And then Shackling, which probably the reason teleportation wasn't working is because, you know, I was in the mode. As for teleportation moves, you might notice there's becoming a lot. So this is the last thing I'll talk about in this video. Crow Evasion takes 10 Chakra, Miyatos takes 5, and the Rinnegan takes 80. So, yeah, I mean, Crow Evasion's the second best. Miyatos is the current best for obvious reasons, and then Rinnegan's the last place. I might make it so Rinnegan, if you hit someone with your teleportation, teleports you to them and like does something to make it kind of fair, since it doesn't really make sense that Rinnegan takes the most but is also the most strongest one. So I'll do something to make it fair. Maybe I'll give like a second move so you can make portals or whatever, something like that. But that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've really been putting a lot of work into these updates. So yeah, I think everything's gonna look good. And leave any suggestions in the comments. Also, keep me posted if you guys want a server. If there's a, I don't know, I want to make a server soon. I mean, the mod's not fully developed, of course, and there's still a long way to go. But I feel like it'd be fun to have like just a testing server for everyone to mess around in. So yeah, let me know. I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace.